What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another How to Play. Today, I'm going to be talking about AJ Steele's 13th place finishing Shigaraki 3 under death. Let's jump into it. So the goal of the video is I want to show you guys a quick snapshot of the deck list so you can take a quick picture of it, and I'm going to explain how Shigaraki wants to work, and then we're going to talk about the strategies and tactics employed inside of this deck in particular, and then lastly we're going to do a quick recap and sideboard breakdown for what could possibly, bring it all together. So Shigaraki 3 is a 7 hand size, 19 health character. Again, this character is being played off of the death symbol. He says my rival makes a check against a difficulty of a 5. If they fail, they draw a card. So they'll make a check like normally you would play a card. If it's a 5, nothing happens. If it's a 3, they can choose to commit the foundations to make it the 5, right? You have to pass the check, or if they fail it, I'll draw a card. So this guy has essentially like a 1 in 3 chance of stunning my opponent or drawing a bonus resource. That feels very good. And the response once per turn after my rival makes a check, whether it's on a block or playing a card or playing an ability like Shigaraki's Top Enhance, it gets -1. So you can make them commit 1 extra or convince them to, maybe you should fail that one and then I'll get my draw or I'll get my damage through or so on and so forth. But the big thing that Shigaraki has to do is his first form. The first thing that you do on your turn before you play any cards, once per game, remove a momentum. It doesn't go to the discard pile, it gets removed from the game. All of your rivals' next checks get -1 until the start of your next turn. So during my turn that I've activated the ability, the following turn that they get to try and swing me back, they all get -1, which means that that top enhance is going to be drawing cards over and over and over again, or it's going to be committing out my opponent's entire board. Incredibly powerful. So let's talk about the strategy, right? As soon as we get that momentum, we want to have a big OTK string. Having -1 of the checks on every single move they do, whether it be both on my turn, on their turn, is very, very good at setting up a big one turn kill. Cheating momentum is huge because of how powerful that first form is. We've got solid death defensive cards, speed hate, which we'll get to, and then just a ton of foundation disruption. Hey, I don't want you to have readied foundations so that when I'm making you make these checks and making you fail these checks, it's more impactful. You have to make some really hard choices of, do I commit these out? Because if my other foundation disruption commits out the rest of your board, it's going to feel bad. So let's talk about the OTK string, right? The OTK is as follows. I can use cards like Brute Strength and Fierce Whirlwind to Brute Strength destroying 1 card at a time, 1 card at a time, 1 card at a time. Fierce Whirlwind destroying my entire stage for Grenade Bracers. Grenade Bracers says the top enhance, if I've destroyed a foundation this enhanced step, it gets +1 damage. So every time I destroy 1 foundation with Brute Strength, it gets 1 from Brute Strength, it gets 1 from Bracers. So everything gets +2 damage. Mix that with a -1 of the check, everything essentially gets +1 speed and then +2 damage. And then it also has the other ability of Enhanced Commit. This deck gets 1 damage for each foundation I've destroyed this turn. Let's pretend that I have 10 foundations in my stage. I play a couple moves and I swing my moves. I then play Fierce Whirlwind, which has EX2, -1 to the check. I'm going to destroy all 10 of my foundations with Fierce Whirlwind. I'll ready X foundations. So destroy X, ready X. I don't have any ready. That's okay, because I'm just going to turn my Grenadier Bracer sideways, and my move is going to get +10 damage. That feels pretty good. Were you at 15? Well, now you're dead. Feels cool. But that once per game is so crazy important. So we got to talk about how we cheat in our momentum. We're going to start on the left. Nitro Explosion Ignition. If I have 2 of these cards in my hand, I play Nitro. I remove the first Nitro in order to use its bottom card pool enhance. Your attack gains powerful 2. The second Nitro, the one that I'm currently playing, sees that the first one left the card pool and it is a Fury attack. So I have to take the top card of my deck and put it into my underneath my character as my momentum. I've got my first form off and ready to go next turn. Same thing with Howitzer Impact Cyclone. If I see the combo enhance, add the top card of my deck to my momentum. Just instantly cheats it right there. And then lastly, Dual Needle Lunge, the bottom enhance, lose 3 health, add this card to your momentum after it resolves. I don't have time to wait for it later. It's just going right now. Blocked, unblocked, it doesn't matter. It's just leaving. It's clearing my card pool. It's attempting 5 damage. It maybe drew me a card off Shigaraki, and it goes to momentum. There's so much value in Dual Needle Lunge. Next we're going to talk about defense. So Shigaraki is a 7 hand size character, so it's very easy to accidentally get splatted with double digit moves coming in. And so things like Stalking or Prey and Shock Absorption being incredible speed hate, right? After arrival increases speed of attack -3 or -2 speed, playable while committed, incredible. And then I know that we're drawing a ton of cards on defense, right? Like 1 every 3 attacks, I get to draw a bonus card. What we're struggling to study is I get to cheat that even more. And if I had a really good block before, I get to flip struggling and pick it back up and then block with it again, which feels great. Or I blocked with an attack card. I want to play that attack later. I'll pick it up and I'll soak this one. Feels very good. And then lastly, I want to talk about the foundation disruption. Things like full cowling impact. If this attack is completely blocked, my rival destroys the foundation. You really want to keep them off of momentum, or your opponent really wants to keep you, off of momentum. Yeah, we've got all that ways to cheat it, but sometimes we don't draw it. My full cowling impact is a big, heavy move. Yeah, it's very slow, but sometimes it's coming in as like a 4 diff 2 low for 6, which is a big chunk of change. And if it's completely blocked, I don't get my momentum, but you also lose a foundation, which feels fine. And then the 2 action cards of Masterminding being essentially another Shigaraki once per turn of, hey, -1 of that check might get to convince them to commit more resources. And Showdown, if you block with it, forcing them to commit the 2 foundations that you don't want to deal with. And so there it is. There's the Shigaraki list. I want to talk a little bit about the list and some cool cards that I didn't spotlight. Things like Vile Seizing and Howitzer Impact. Vile Seizing being one of the absolute best deadlock pieces in the game. It says all your checks get -3, which means that top enhance of Shigaraki feels even more insane. And then Howitzer Impact saying if I've destroyed a foundation, it goes from a 6 difficulty down to a 4 difficulty. It's like a 4 diff 6 damage move, which feels incredible, right? And then lastly, we've got things like Blood Evaluation to use that momentum that we're cheating in order to draw cards ready itself. Mediator and Night Watch utilizing the 5 actions that we're playing in order to get either slow moves down or disrupt my opponent's abilities. Let's see, someone with style and in control, either readying or flipping for -speed, just for more of that good solid death defense. Yeah, this is a cool list. I like the Tight-Lipped. So Tight-Lipped combined with Brute Strength says that everything, Tight-Lipped, Brute Strength, Grenadier Bracers says everything gets +3 damage, which is insane. Just like this attack lineup is really threatening. This attack lineup and they all get 3 damage. Scary. Let's talk about the sideboard though. So we've got 1 Nomu, 1 Eraserhead. Sometimes Shigaraki just isn't the right call, right? Depending on the matchups, I'm sure that we have some choices of like, oh, it's better going second in this particular matchup being a Nomu or being Eraserhead, or going first, I'd rather be this. Triple Erase in it for Eraserhead. Bursting Muscle Bash at a 3 of. This is exclusively to fight Recovery Girl. Bursting Muscle Bash says I can flip any card in my card pool in order to stop them from building a card, which feels during the enhanced step ? I don't know. Go look up Bursting Muscle Bash. It's very cool Recovery Girl tech. And then lastly, Wing and Nomu. That's in there exclusively for whenever I go to Nomu. Dual Needle Lunge plus Wing and Nomu is like a 30 damage combo, just kind of for free. And so like there's no reason not to play the combo. With that, big shout out to AJ Steele for his 13th place finish with Shigaraki. If you liked this video and you want to catch more like it, make sure you go and check out the full playlist, as well as any of the other how to plays that I've made on these tournament winning decks. With that said, you guys, thank you much for watching, and as always, I wish you well.